Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lesbians are about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where you can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. In Season 8, we are still releasing our Patreon bonus episodes, but we're not going to be releasing them as often as possible. But our first Patreon episode will be out on October 7th, and we still have 22 episodes up on our Patreon so far. So if you're wanting more Les Hang Out, join at bit.ly/LesPatreon. We're also planning another trip, so keep an eye out for more details on that. In the Greater Les universe, Something in the Water just came out. It is a lesbian Jaws, basically a lesbian shark attack movie. And if you are into that kind of stuff, you know, we're getting some really widespread lesbian rep here, and I'm here for it. Also in the Greater Les universe, Winona Earp Vengeance is coming out this Friday. It is going to be a 90-minute special, bringing back all of your favorites. Cannot wait to see it. Let us know your thoughts. With that, back to you, Ellie and Lee. Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 131st installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, thank you for being a friend.
Been waiting a long time for this. Travel down the road and back again.
Are you going to do the whole thing? Okay, I was trying to keep it short.
And if you threw a party, just keep going.
Everyone
Yes,
you
there you go. You would see the biggest gift would be from me.
And the card attached would say,
Thank you for being a friend. I got it. Nailed the landing.
We couldn't not do the whole thing. Come on.
Me singing the 2 lines of the song I know. There you go. There you go. Listen.
I have to do the whole thing. I've been singing that song in my head all day.
It's so good. It probably is like top 3 of theme songs to ever exist.
Well, here
right?
to save us from here to save me from my lack of knowledge of the Golden Girls theme song.
Damn it.
We have a very special guest with us. We have Stacey Powell, who is a certified life coach, late in life lesbian, mom of 3, host of the Les Go Travel Show on Tello Films, co-author of the book Get Off the Dating Apps: Journal to Find Your Soulmate. Stacey, thanks for being here and singing with us.
Woo! Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
We're already off to a great start. Stacey, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit? I mean, you have a million things in your bio, but I think one of the things that's most exciting to us is the Les Go Travel Show. We love Tello Films. Mm-hmm. Tello was one of our first sponsors on Les Hang Out, which is so exciting. So would love to hear more about that show.
Yes, and I would love to talk about it because it's just such a dream come true for me to be able to be the host of this type of show. And I mean, I get to travel around the world with my fiance and interview amazing kick-ass lesbians and lift up their businesses and showcase safe places to travel in our community. And I'm a huge foodie. So like, of course, we have to like showcase where to eat, what to drink, all the stuff with travel that, you know, everybody wants to be able to experience, but maybe you can't get out there right now and do it. We want to bring that to you on Tello.
That sounds amazing. What were some of your favorite places that you went?
Well, right off the bat, I have to say Croatia. And I just saw on y'all's Instagram page that you went to, somebody went to Croatia.
Yes, we did.
Did both of you go?
Yes.
Okay.
We did like a huge gay trip to Croatia.
We
did
too.
That
and
tracks.
It's going to be available to see on Tello for season 2, which is coming out this fall. And out of all the places we've gone over the past year, I have to say Croatia is like my number one top favorite.
Yeah. It was great. We had such a good time there. What
Wasn't
a
it
cool
so
place.
beautiful? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
beautiful. And
So
like it
beautiful,
just
like
felt so
good
safe.
food. Yeah, good food, great
Mhm.
swimming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I saw that y'all got to touch the golden toe
Yes.
Yes.
We did.
and make a.
We
Did you make
did.
a wish?
I-
I don't remember if I made a wish or not.
I know. I'm
That
like,
was what you were supposed to do. You were supposed
'Cause
to make a wish.
I know, but it was like our first night in and we were all very jet lagged and tired.
yeah, I'm like, couldn't tell you what happened on day one of that trip.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I know. And we had 18 of us total, so it was just a whole, you're like
Yeah.
you're learning everybody's
Oh,
names.
yeah.
None of you have slept enough. It was
Oh yeah, we were on a big group too, and I think we like passed up that statue, and no one touched the toe or anything. And then later, someone was like, "You're supposed to touch the toe and make
Touch
a
the
wish." So we had to
toe.
like go back, walk back, and make this big thing of it. But it was fun.
That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, we were on a boat as well, kind of like island hopping. And I mean, I just couldn't get over it. Like every day you wake up and you think, surely this island can't be like more beautiful than the other one. But nope, it was. It was just
Yeah.
spectacular.
No, I mean the water's just like unreal. It was great.
Did you go to
Mhm.
any gay bars while you were there?
We did, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was in Split. Did y'all go to one in Split?
I feel like we did go to one in Split because that was the one. I think that was
Yeah.
the best one that we went
was
to.
it like I think it was like X's or
X.
something?
Yeah,
X.
I
X,
think-
is that what it? That's what it was.
Yeah, Club X.
And they
or
had a-
But
something.
we went to one in Dubrovnik too, didn't we?
Yeah, the Dubrovnik one was very small though. Club X
Okay.
was like had like we like were dancing and like it was much bigger. Like
Okay, yeah,
not huge, but
There was a great DJ,
Mhm.
and I mean, we were just all dancing, and like there was like dark, but it had like the neon lights inside, and
Yeah.
it had a great vibe.
that was probably my favorite gay experience. I mean, we were with a bunch of gay people, but like gay experience,
Yeah.
that particular
And
gay bar.
then I'd have to say my second favorite is we went to Velvet Ibiza and got to experience that festival. And there were women from all over the world that came in, and I had never been to Spain before, so I was just like blown away by the beauty of that island as well, and just like being able to meet women from all over and like hear everybody's story and just that connection and make the friendships. It's
Yeah.
just been, we've met so many wonderful people doing this show. I'm just so thankful.
It's because gay people are the best people.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Agreed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially if they all live together in one house.
Oh,
Segue.
Whoa, transit. Look at you, segue
dun,
queen.
dun, dun.
Here we go. Golden gays.
Yes.
Let's go. So Lee, why don't you hit us with our IMDb synopsis for Golden Girls?
I'm so ready. Okay, the IMDb synopsis for The Golden Girls is as follows. 4 previously married women live together in Miami, sharing their various experiences together and enjoying themselves despite hard times. Which, I've got to be honest, not to like editorialize immediately off the bat, but like that might be the gayest out the gate IMDb synopsis.
Just
on its
sharing
own
together, enjoying
that we've ever
themselves,
had.
enjoying each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just enjoying and sharing their life together. Like
Mhm.
like women should do. you know?
Yes. Obsessed.
Stacey, do you have a gay synopsis for us? If you had to give like a gay elevator pitch of the Golden Girls, what would it be?
Okay, well, when we talked about it and we picked Golden Girls, I mean, immediately I was like, okay, duh. I mean, like you have all these women living together, all lesbians, like well, actually I thought, it'd be cool if like Sophia was like the straight one out of the group. And then Blanche and Rose were like ex-girlfriends who just had to continue to live together because they just, you know how that goes. They couldn't live apart, but they weren't in love anymore, but they couldn't live without each other. And then, so they were like, let's just all get a house together and we'll live together and just be gay.
Yeah,
Have fun.
that's what I saw.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I saw. Lee, what is your gay synopsis?
Okay, my gay synopsis is I decided to go real short and sweet for this one. So my gay synopsis for Golden Girls would just say men ? Who needs them? That's it. That's the pitch for the show.
Wow.
Great pitch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great pitch.
You're welcome. Listen. You need a tagline? I got you. What about you, Ellie? What's your gay
Husband's
synopsis?
dead.
Yeah.
My gay synopsis is everyone's favorite chaotic bisexual Blanche, towering lesbian Dorothy, and clueless closeted straight girl Rose live in a house
Oh.
chaperoned by, I agree, our token straight Sophia.
Oh,
Great.
yep.
Great.
There you go.
That's my read. That's my read on all of them and their sexualities. Like, I think Rose is definitely gay, but she's so clueless that she's like she would be in a relationship with a woman for 10 years and she would be
And
like,
not realize.
what are you talking about? We've been friends this whole time. Like, what do you, yeah. So that's what I saw. But I think just like, it's a gay commune.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like the ideal later in life scenario.
right?
I think there's a reason, we can talk about our experiences, but like there is a gigantic reason why the gays love Golden Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah, and
every
Dorothy's
gay.
like definitely like late in life lesbian vibes for sure.
Mhm.
Wait, you're getting so far ahead of us.
I'm so
Ellie.
sorry,
You
but
gotta-
I've been
you
waiting.
gotta-
Lee, I've been waiting for this
I
episode
know,
for
you
literally
have.
7 years.
You have been, and listen, and I'm so proud of
Because
you
okay, yeah,
for making it so
it's
far.
been really difficult.
But first, you can't skip the part where we talk about how I've never seen the show.
Yep.
okay?
All right, Lee.
It's
So what was your
important.
experience with Golden Girls? So we can all shame
It's
you.
important for me to let our listeners know, just because we haven't done this in a while, okay? So like we have not in a little bit done a thing where I what was that, season 6 or something, where it was like
You
every
hadn't
movie
seen
we
anything,
watched.
yeah?
Yeah, I hadn't seen anything, and I kept coming in and being like, I haven't read the book we're talking about, but I'm here to tell you all my thoughts about it. So I am here with all my deep thoughts about Golden Girls, which I have now watched 2 entire episodes of in the last hour and a half.
Which
So
episodes?
listen,
Because
I'm
I
gonna
think I
say-
told you the red episodes to watch. Which
yes, you told me
episodes?
the episodes to watch. So you picked them for me. I consider myself now the foremost expert on Golden Girls based on having watched, hold on, I'll tell you. I watched Isn't It Romantic?
Great one.
The lesbian one. And I watched the Goodbye Mr. Gordon episode where they go on TV as lesbians. So I now know everything about Golden Girls, and I look forward to telling you all of my deepest, most important thoughts about it.
Can't wait.
Stacey, what's your experience with the Golden Girls? Is it better than mine?
Well, mine is like I was saying earlier, my top memories of the Golden Girls is watching it with my grandmother. It would be like, we'd get like our jammies on, and after she'd cook dinner, and we're like, let's watch the Golden Girls. And just the memory of like, hearing her laugh and just having that one-on-one time with her. I have not watched a Golden Girls episode probably in about 8 years or so. So I'm trying to rack my brain and remember which episodes you're talking about and which ones will be my favorite.
We'll
But
fill you in. Don't
Don't
worry.
worry.
Okay.
Do not worry. But that is a beautiful memory, and that's
Yes.
that's why the Golden Girls are the shit. Like, it is cross-generational. Like,
yeah.
it is just heartwarming. It was very progressive for the time that it was written in. Like, so many of the episodes, like, they have an episode about AIDS. They have an episode about
Mhm.
Dorothy's lesbian friends. Like, they have episodes about racism, about like they hit them all. About
Mhm.
at one point, I'm like, what's my experience? As I'm like, here's all the episodes I can name of the Golden Girls. I watched it when I was younger, and it was definitely a comfort show for me.
Mhm.
And then the past few years, I feel like this is like something I had with Will and Grace that we've talked about. This is something I've had with like, even like A Modern Family. Like, there are like sitcoms that I used to watch that I'm like completely rewatching because I'm so curious to be like, are my memories the same
Mhm.
now? Like, does it still stand up? And Golden Girls was that for me this year, where I like every night when I go to bed, I put on Golden Girls and I basically like fall asleep to the episodes.
Oh yeah.
So
And I bet
yeah.
you're like getting something different out of it now that you're older too.
like completely different.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I get this is just a hilarious show. Like, these 4 women are comedic geniuses.
Yeah.
the chemistry between them is insane. Like the timing, the actual like comedy of the show is gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Oh my gosh, y'all are making me want to like go back and watch
You
like
really
all the
should watch.
seasons
You
from
really
start to
should
finish.
watch.
You really should.
Do
I
it. Start
cannot
right now. Just put it on while
I'm
we
literally
record,
messaging
honestly.
you like,
It's fine.
okay, I'm on season
Yeah.
5.
Yes, please. You're like, oh, this is the episode. I am a Golden Girls evangelist. Like, it makes me feel so good inside to watch that show. But yeah, also there's a lot of stuff they tackle that's like deep because they're like, and also I'm like, older women. You also watch it now and you're like, they're not that old.
Oh my gosh, I know. I saw like some meme the other day of like the ages. I'm like,
They're like in
what?
their early 50s, I think, when the show
Oh,
starts. Like,
oh.
they're not old. Like, at all.
Not
Like,
old
we're
at
like
all.
elderly. I'm like, they're
I
not old.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when you're older, you watch it and you're like, wow, I was like, these are really old
yeah.
women. Sophia is, I guess, right? But like
Yeah.
the other three of them really are not.
But wasn't she like the actress wasn't really, right? She just
She was the youngest out of the
looked
4 of them,
older.
but they aged her
Yeah.
up.
They
Yeah.
aged her
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do y'all have a favorite Golden Girl?
Yes.
Who would be your favorite?
For me, it is Blanche, hands down. I'm like, that's my girl. I relate. I love her. Like, she's fabulous. She's unapologetic about her diva-ness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's my favorite in terms of like who I relate to, I feel. But they're all great. Lee,
They're
after
all
2
great.
episodes.
Of the 2 episodes I've watched, I feel like, I mean, it's hard because like it's hard not to love Rose because it's Betty White and you love Betty White. But I feel like I really liked Dorothy.
I knew you would.
Of course I would. I know. I'm like surprised you didn't say it for me. I was waiting for you to just be like, "You bitch, you like Dorothy, don't you?"
No, to be fair, I think
I
Dorothy gets a
do.
bad rap. Like, they really shit all over B. Arthur in that show, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
stop.
But you know what, Ellie? Here's the truth of it. The truth of it is, if you and I got old and started a gay commune house together, you would be the Blanche to my Dorothy, and we both know that about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like knowing yourselves is important.
It is
You know?
important.
Like,
I love
you'd be
that.
like, I'm going clubbing, and I'd be like, I'm gonna do the fucking dishes again, I guess, then. Okay, great.
What about you, Stacey?
Thanks for the nothing that you're doing. Have fun. Love you.
I think we have a very love-hate relationship.
Well, we'd be so much fun as old ladies together,
It'd be
is all I'm
great.
gonna say. Okay.
Exactly.
I
What
can
about
see
you,
it. I can
Stacey?
see it with
Who's
y'all.
your favorite?
I have to go with Rose. I love Betty White. I love her character. I just think she's so sweet and cute and just funny to watch. And I just always liked her the best. So
Yeah, we're gonna ask you about your feelings about cows before you apply to join our gay commune, okay? So just so you know, we need to round out some of the stereotypical roles. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. But yes, let's dive in to the gay of it all.
Okay. How do we
How?
start this? Yeah.
How? I just think maybe we just talk overarching. The storyline of this sitcom is Rose and Blanche, their husbands are dead, right? Dorothy divorced from her complete shitbag husband, who we see constantly come in and out of the
Ooh.
scene. He cheats on her with a younger woman.
Oh.
Like, he like leaves their marriage, like writes her a note and leaves. Like, he's a piece of trash. I have a lot to say about Dorothy because her story is interesting. She got pregnant when she was young and like got stuck with this man, right? And that's the landscape we're dropped into of like you said, Lee. Men? Question mark? The most men we get is like Blanche's, like all of their love lives, which are also very interesting.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, see, that's the piece that I don't like.
You
I
don't
guess
really,
my question after, because I only watched those 2 episodes, and it's hard to tell when you're only kind of like picking and choosing from a show. I tried to like, I tried to read some of the basic kind of like synopses of some of the other stuff, but the thing that I couldn't get a handle on is like, do any of them ever have like a lengthy romance
Yes.
storyline? Like, recurring stuff?
Yes,
What is
Stacey.
who does that?
Well,
and what
I'm
does
like,
that look
I know,
like?
but Stacey, do you remember any
Yeah,
of the
tell
men?
us. Tell us.
It was Rose, right?
Rose and Rose
Yeah.
had Miles.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember those episodes.
Yeah, so Rose has a boyfriend for a significant amount of time, and their whole storyline is that she's feeling guilty, like dating him because she's like, well, I still love Charlie, who's her husband who passed away, and she doesn't quite know how to feel about it. And they have like, there's even an episode where they focus on like, they haven't had sex yet, and like, what's gonna happen? Like,
I remember that one.
like, is it weird we haven't had sex? And then I'm pretty sure they go on this cruise, and correct me if I actually don't know if I'm completely right about this. I think they actually end up not having sex on the cruise.
I'm going to tell you from reading the episode description that I think they might, but she has a hard time because it's her first time.
Oh.
Yeah, she's having a hard
Something
time.
like that.
She's having a hard time, like, talking herself up, like, into it. And I feel like if we're going to lean into the gay of it, I feel like that's a very gay, queer thing to do. To be like, it's been a pretty significant amount of time since her husband passed. And of course, like, she's going to take some time to process and grieve and get over that. But it's a very gay thing to do to really hold on to that. Like, we hold on for a long time.
We do have a tendency to have like an iron grip, yes. Our memory is long.
And to also be like scared. She's very scared to sleep with this man.
Rose seems a little scared of men in a general sense. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I do feel that because she's so like naive, she's an interesting character to play around with her sexuality in the show. Because they don't actually shy away from it, I feel. Like, there's this one episode where she literally is dating a man who can't get it up, and that's like the whole point of the episode.
I don't remember that episode.
I've seen clearly I've seen so many of these episodes very recently. But no, this whole episode is like, he can't get it up, and she's very sexually frustrated, but she still likes him. So she's like, I'll still go out with you. And I do feel like that's the difference between like Blanche and Rose. Rose is very like emotional. She really focuses on like the emotional connection that she has with these men. And Blanche is just like, you want to fuck or what? Like, that's it. That's it.
Totally agree.
Well, even in the episode that I watched, the season 7 one, where so they go on like a talk show, right? Like Rose talks Blanche and Dorothy into coming on because she like just got made associate producer of this show, and she's like, we need guests who are women who live with other women, right? And she brings them on, and then they're like, here are these two dykes, right? And which they're thrilled about. But like the end of that episode is that Blanche realizes that she's like, oh, I like met a guy at the grocery store. He doesn't know I'm a lesbian. And then it turns out that he fully does know that she's a lesbian. And he, I think, is the worst part of this episode because very, very, again, just like a dated joke to be like, you just haven't dated a real man who's gonna like show you a night of passion. But she's like, I'm in, right? And you're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense for like, that seems to be her character. Even though honestly, I think if she got that offer from a lesbian, she'd be down.
That's, I think, what I'm saying about her being bisexual.
Yes. Oh, yes. Fully.
Is, I mean, that woman really loves men. So like, I'm not gonna take that away from her.
She's just like, she just feels like she'd be down to try anything. Like, I don't think she would turn down a good offer from a woman, you know? Like, she's just like, you know what I love in life? Sex. And like, honestly, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her. Like, who are we to
That's
try
why
to dull that shine?
She's
like,
she's so sex positive. I love it.
She is. In a way that's refreshing for a show of that era, you know?
I agree. That's why I love her. What are your thoughts on Blanche, Stacey?
I think that watching it, I remember being like, wow, I wish I could have that confidence. Be like, damn. I mean, how fun would it be
watching it at what age?
To be her.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
Me at 14 being like, when am I going to be sexually confident like Blanche?
I think I probably was 14
Yeah.
or 15, actually.
I mean, but my point too is that she's sexually confident, but she's confident in every way. Like that woman is confident.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I would want to have that confidence. Be like, oh, yeah, that must be really nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can see because even in the episode I told you to watch, Lee, so this episode, Dorothy, this is like one of the second season, I believe.
Yeah, season 2.
Which I think is, what year was that?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. That came out in 1986.
Okay, 1986. There is an episode on The Golden Girls where they introduce Dorothy's lesbian friend, Jean.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So progressive.
Yeah.
And the whole storyline is that Jean's partner also had passed. And so she's trying to like work through those feelings. And she falls in love with Rose.
They both grew up
I
on
don't have to
dairy
watch that.
farms. They
You
have so
need
much
to
in
watch it.
common.
You need to
Yeah.
watch it. And here's the thing I love. There's many things I love about this episode. Rose is very kind to Jean when she's like, I'm in love with you, Rose. And she's like taken aback by it, but she's also like, Jean, you're a beautiful person and like you deserve love, you know? And you're like,
I love Rose.
it's so heartwarming. But
she says something. She actually has a line that I think is like, especially for 1986, like such a wildly out of its time line of like TV dialogue, which is that as they're talking about it the next day and she's talking to Jean, because Jean basically, they like went to bed the night before and Jean was like, I really like you. I'm quite fond of you, until like Jean finally catches on. And so they're talking about it the next day. And she has this line where she says something like, she's like, I don't understand these feelings, but I think that if I did, I would be really honored and proud that you feel that way about me. And I'm like, that really like takes so much stuff and like distills it down to like a very easily digestible thing. I'm like, that is such a great line of dialogue for someone to have written. Like, props to whoever wrote that. That's incredible, right? To be like, this isn't for me, but I suppose at its core, like, that's like a nice thing to feel about me, right? Like, that's what a beautiful thing to say.
it's so good. I love that
incredible.
they chose that she would fall in love with Rose.
Aw, yeah.
But
Of all of them.
Yeah.
Of all of them, for it to be Rose. But listen, wait, do you have more to say about Rose, or can we talk about Blanche in that episode real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say the funniest thing about Blanche in that episode is she's so pissed it's not her.
Yeah. She's so mad.
She's like,
She's like,
yeah.
yeah, like Blanche finally catches on that Jean's a lesbian, and she's like, Rose,
Yeah.
why wouldn't it be me? I'm so much more worldly than Rose. And you're like, so you're DTF. We hear you, Blanche. Like, we hear what you're saying loud and clear. She's like, Rose isn't gonna fuck you. I'm right here, Jean.
Oh my God, I have to watch
What are you
this
talking
episode.
about?
You need to.
Honestly, you have to. It's so, because it's so right there. Like, her reaction says so much. It says so much about Blanche as a person.
It just reminds me, like, and that's the thing. It could be like also, it is a pretty straight girl response as well, but it is funny when you like tell you're like come out to your straight friends and you're like,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you ever think I was hot or?
Yeah, that happened to me with several of my friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wait. 'cause
Wait, tell
I
us.
know your bio says late in life lesbian. What are we? To give us a little bit of the backstory here.
Came out about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So at 43, I was married to a man
Congrats.
for 23
We're golf clapping.
years.
We're podcast golf clapping for you.
Thank you. So yes, I had several friends be like, "Oh, well, were you attracted to me ever? Did you ever think about kissing me?" I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
God, no, I did not." Sorry,
did
to
you-
burst your bubble?
Was it like did you have the back of your mind, like, did you know, or was it like oh my God, like this,
Oh no, I've known
earth
since I was
shattered, like
no, I've known since I was like 12 or 13.
just pushing it all the way down.
Yep. Went to Catholic school, grew up in a small town. I wanted to be a mom so bad. Like, people want to be an actress. I wanted to be a mom. And in the 90s, I just know you needed a man to be a mom. Like, I had no representation whatsoever to know.
Sorry, do you need a tagline? Men? Who needs them? Do you have you heard this tagline? I think it's really good.
So that's what I did. I married my high school sweetheart and I had my kids. I love being a mom and I had a good marriage, but I'm gay. So obviously at some point it was
breaks
gonna
down
blow
eventually.
And it did. Oh boy, did it.
And when you build on top of a house of cards, it's not stable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any parallels between your coming out and Dorothy's?
No, not really. I just thought she'd be the one I would pick to give the title of late life lesbian.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Listen, let's take a hot break. We'll come back. We're going to talk more about Dorothy because I have a lot of thoughts as well. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/leshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/leshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for adults with migraine with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Ask your doctor and visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
What are your thoughts on Dorothy and her late in life lesbianism?
She just always seems so like, strong and like closed off to people and just holding on tight to her emotions and like her strong, like nerves, and it just seems like she's hiding something, and it just seems like maybe that was it. That's what kind of like made me think of her.
I could see it. I also do feel like they just give they don't give Dorothy a lot of male love interest, which I think is pretty rude of them, I will say. But I feel like the better option for them to be, because I feel like they're just like, oh, well, Dorothy's the butt of every joke. Like, she's undesirable. I feel like the better alternative would have been to just be like, no, Dorothy hates men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's okay with that. Like,
does she successfully date anyone? Because here's, again, from my limited scope of the show, what I do know is I read an awful lot of like synopses of season 1 episodes where it seems like there's an awful lot of like, here's how marrying Stan ruined her life.
Yep.
Right? Like, Stan is the worst. He's terrible. Men suck. This destroyed your life. And now you just like endlessly have this baggage from it. Then you watch episodes where it's like, oh, here's your like, lesbian friend Jean that you're totally cool with. You're gonna have her sleep in your bed.
Friend.
Like, yeah, she's just like, cool, my lesbian friend, of course. And then the one episode that I saw with her trying to date a man was like the guy who was her teacher in high school, and even then it's like they kind of have this thing where they're like, oh, I know you're talking to a man because you get all giggly and like ha ha ha, and I'm like, are you giggly, or is it just like funny even to you to like be interested in a man? And like, and then it immediately doesn't work out because she's like, never mind, he's just using me, like kick him out the door, and I'm like, she doesn't linger at all.
She has very few long-term relationships with men. It's very much like she'll go on like a date.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
Married her high school sweetheart, didn't work out, and men are useless, you say. Suspicious. Okay.
And I will say, like, she also has a whole thing with Stan where they like are on and off again. So there's like this whole storyline with her and Stan where she's like sleeping with him secretly. Because she doesn't want her mom to know, because like obviously her mom hates Stan.
Is it just me, or does that also sound a little gay?
It does.
To be like, the only person, like the only man I've ever slept with, like I could probably sleep with him again if I had to, like I kind of know the deal. I know what I'm getting into. Like, I don't want to deal with like a new man, but like, hasn't been anyone else in a while. I invited my lesbian friend over and she fell for my roommate instead. Like, I guess if I have to.
Yes.
Feels a little gay is all I'm saying.
It is quite gay. She also, like, when Stan is getting married to another woman, she's like thinking about stopping the wedding. It's like a whole thing. She ends up meeting the girl and she's like, never mind, you can have him.
Why is she so gay? Why did they make her so gay?
I think it's just like the B. Arthur of it all also.
Yeah.
Like she's the butch.
She
Oh, yeah.
is a little like for
She
the
has
80s,
a very
right?
low voice also,
She's tall. She's very tall.
which I think adds to it. You know what's interesting? B. Arthur. Should I start a Golden Girls podcast? I'm so
Do it. Yeah.
I think you should.
so obsessed. Because I also have looked this up. How tall do you think B. Arthur is?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. Because you don't get a ton of. It's like it's always hard on sitcoms, you know, because it's like you're just getting that like one shot. I'm gonna guess she is 5'9".
That's what I
do you
was
think?
gonna say.
Okay. I'll say 5'10". Then there you go. I'll give you 5'9", Stacey.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you guys are correct. 5'10". But here's the thing. I guess I am also tall. I am 5'10".
Yes.
But I feel like they act like Dorothy is like this like grotesque giant.
They do.
And I'm like,
but
is 5'10" really that like gargantuan? Like I feel like, you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, Ellie. I think if you were 5'10", well, okay, I know you are 5'10". I think if you were 5'10" with her, she has, because A, you have the 80s shoulder pads, right? B, you have the hair that's like adding a good couple.
The hair is probably like 3 inches.
Exactly. Good couple inches above your head. And then there's something also about the, like, I think if you just walked around in like a silk gown over shoulder pads.
I think it's the silk. It's the silk.
A lot.
I think it would
like
definitely add
you might feel
to
more
the...
imposing than you do.
Yeah, you're so right.
In day to day. Have you considered a tall perm, you know? Like just
I think I should. Well, and here's the thing. Estelle Getty, who plays Sophia, this is why also she just looks gigantic. How tall do you think Estelle Getty is?
Oh, my height, like 5'2". Is she shorter?
Yeah.
She's shorter?
She's under 5 feet. She's 4'11".
Oh my god, is she really?
So there's like there's like a complete foot height differential between the two of them. So yes, she obviously looks gigantic.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
and Betty White's not super tall either, right?
No, they're all short. So Rue McClanahan is 5'3", Betty White's 5'4". So like,
I was gonna say I think Betty White's like 5'4", 5'5", or something. Like, so I'm sure she just looked super tall.
Oh yeah, she didn't stand a chance.
No, the perspective was so off. So off.
There's not enough apple boxes in the world to.
But Dorothy does have. Actually, she gets married at like the end of the entire series. She gets married to
Wait, who gets married to him?
Dorothy.
Oh, okay.
Like he's like a character in the show, but like Dick Van Dyke plays her.
Yeah, well, I assume that she didn't marry Dick Van Dyke playing himself. Sure.
I don't know. Could have been, honestly, at this point.
Did TV get that meta back in the day? You know,
I don't know if they had. I feel like they did have some funny cameos.
So wait, that was the finale of the series?
Yeah, the finale of the series, I think, because that's how they like got rid of Dorothy.
Yeah.
I know so much. I know so much.
So much. I'm impressed. I'm super impressed.
Stacey and I are just gonna go watch some Golden Girls while Ellie just talks for the next hour. You know, that'll be great.
Sorry, I'm trying to give space and I can't.
No, you seriously pumped me up to go watch it again. I will say.
Because there was the whole thing. Okay, so because B. Arthur's character because they kept pounding down on Dorothy, they wanted to continue the series, and B. Arthur was like, "I'm done. Like I like the show has run its course. Like." I'm the butt of every joke. Like, I can't keep coming to work every single day and you telling me, like, how hideous I am, even if it's a joke. So she was like, I'm out. I'm done. So they got rid of her in that episode and they started a new show called The Golden Palace. Did you ever watch that show?
Yes.
Which is just Sophia, Blanche, and Rose. And they, like, somehow inherited a hotel.
Yeah.
And
It didn't do well. I
It's
don't
not.
think,
I
though,
tried.
right?
I also tried to watch it because I was like, well, I just finished Golden Girls. Let me try.
Yeah.
It's just not really super watchable,
No.
unfortunately.
Did they have like a new like writing team and stuff, or was it just like
I
it's kind
think
of
it's just
lost the magic?
Yeah, because it's also like they changed the premise,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was like, okay, we don't really want to watch these women run a hotel. I don't think.
Yeah.
It was more interesting just like watching their daily lives.
Yeah.
So they did that because B. Arthur left, and so they like
Oh, I didn't know that.
married her off the show. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, Dorothy's not here anymore because she's married to this man who went and joined the circus, and she followed him to the circus.
Yeah, it's also hard when they do stuff like that in a way that you're like, the entire premise of this show is like the four of you living
Mhm.
together for like years and years and years and years and years, and now one of you has just like fallen off the face of the earth, and it just like it kind of kills the characters a little,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and I do think the whole point of it is like the chemistry between all four of them.
Yeah.
It's like when the
Yeah.
Spice Girls broke up. Like, you can't keep it going.
It's not the same.
You can't.
Same. Yeah.
But they had a good run. They still had like 7 seasons.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. How many seasons? Was it 7?
I think 7.
Yeah, 7.
I mean, that's a long time.
And like back in the day, they actually did like a shit ton of episodes per season. Like I feel like
Yeah.
now 7 seasons is like
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
6 episodes per season, and you're like, okay,
Right,
and
right.
like there, yeah. So
Yeah, they probably had like 25 episode
Oh,
seasons
yeah.
or something, you know?
Mhm.
Back in the golden age of TV.
Oh man, so
When you had
good.
to watch commercials while you're watching
Mhm.
the episode.
Listen, it's been so funny because we never watch like cable television, and then we were just watching like with the Olympics on, like we watched a bunch
Mhm.
with my kids, and the last time we watched the Olympics, like they'd never seen a commercial, and they were like, "Make it go away."
I know.
And then this time, it's like all our 6-year-old like only wanted to watch the commercials.
Stop.
And she's like, stop fast forwarding. Because I kept like recording stuff during the day so we could watch it later. And I'm like, this way I can skip the commercials. And she's like, I want to watch the commercials. And I'm like, you don't have plaque psoriasis. You do not need this, okay? Like, this is not relevant to you.
Oh my gosh. That's
You
too
can't
cute,
buy a
though.
car. Like, you don't need a GMC ad, okay? Stop
It's
it.
all coming back around.
Mm-mm-mm.
I just thought it was so funny. She was like so invested in them. She's like, I love watching the commercials. And I'm like, what? Why? For what reason?
Like we've tried to get rid of these. Okay, so we sort of hit. Okay, so we hit Dorothy, right? Unlucky in love until the end. We've sort of hit Blanche. Do we have anything more to talk? Do you have anything more to say about Dorothy?
I think they really should have set Dorothy up. I feel like when you start season 2 and you're like, this big, tall, like, you know, butch woman has a lesbian best friend and spends the whole episode asking her mom how she would feel if like one of her kids was gay.
Oh
And,
my
like,
God, also speaking of gay, I don't know if you remember this, Stacey. There's like a running gag that Dorothy's brother is a drag
Oh,
queen.
Yes. Is that a running thing? Because it was in both episodes that I watched, and I didn't know if that was just by chance.
No, it's a thing. We never meet him.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I watched 2 episodes, and the 2 jokes that I saw is in the episode with her lesbian friend Jean. She's like sharing Dorothy and Sophia are like sharing her bed so that Jean can have Sophia's room, and she's like, Mom, like, how would you feel if one of your kids was gay? And she's like, your brother's gay, like I always knew it, right? And then the other episode where she's like, you know, tries to date her like old high school teacher, and she's like, oh yeah, you also had like a problem with my brother, and he was like, oh yeah, the dress code thing, and Sophia's like, to be fair, he was in a dress, like. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
what are we
they
doing
always
here? What
talk
is the
about
running
how
gag?
Phil like wears a dress. That's the whole thing. He wears dresses.
Which is such an 80s running gag to be
Mhm.
like the vaguely gay jokes about your brother, right?
Mhm.
Like that feels exceptionally.
But I do feel like it runs in the family. But
Yes.
like,
Yes.
so
They
he was
just
wearing
they really
dresses
could
and
have.
she was just bushing it up.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you have a mom that they already established would have been accepting, right? She's like, I don't care as long as my kids are happy. Like that's come on.
They're so progressive. I love them.
Yeah.
I feel like make that show, you know, 30 years later on, and like that's a different outcome that you're working towards.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too early. Just too early.
Also,
Where is it available to watch right now? Is it?
It's on Hulu.
I watched it on Hulu. Yeah,
It's on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like seriously going to watch it.
You need to.
When we get off this.
You need to. There's another line in that episode that did crack me up where Sophia is like, I got a lot of things on my bucket list, but like trying women isn't one of them or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That woman.
And she's so
That's
funny
her
too.
loss, honestly.
They're just such great actresses. Like,
Yeah.
What do you? Okay, so Stacey, what do you think about Sophia? You're like straight.
yeah. I see her like, she's like trying to sneak men in the back kitchen door or something. Like, just,
Do you remember the episode where her and actually, I don't remember how many of them. I think her and Blanche are dating the same man. Do you remember that episode?
Oh, I think I do. It's like vaguely familiar to me.
So her and Blanche are dating the same man, and he's like an older man with like a white mustache, and he's like,
yes. Exactly what you're talking about.
And at the funeral, Sophia makes this whole speech about like, but it's like all these women in the same room, and I feel like it's like the perfect moment for her to just be like, ladies, like, let's all just be together. But she was like, this man made me feel good about myself or whatever. And I was like, oh, Sophia. She does have she gets more action than Dorothy.
Oh, absolutely.
She really does. She really does. But I know she is straight, but I do feel like she has like a lot of like older women friends in the nursing home that she's like always like they break one of her friends out of the nursing home.
One
at
of
one
Sophia's
point.
friends.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, they like break her out. And that's another good episode because it's all about like Alzheimer's, and they're like they break her out,
yeah.
and then they're like, well, we actually can't take care of her. We do need to put her back in the home, and it's really sad.
I feel like Sophia feels very like a P flag mom to me, like I feel like she would just be very supportive. And like, because then I think you could also do that and like have it work with the whole, like you could keep the running gags. You could keep the running gags going, where it's like, then you have, okay, now like you have a gay son, you have a gay daughter, like you could have her have things where it's like, she joins PFLAG and has like a I love my gay daughter shirt, and then you make some joke about like what about your son, like, oh, I guess him too, like, so, something like you kind of have the like throwaway like you could do it you could get her a little rainbow shirt. I think it's doable.
That's so doable.
It is.
Just love them.
Ellie's imagining it right now. Ellie's like rewriting headcanon as we speak.
Here's the thing though, like I just do feel like it is a gay show.
Yeah.
Like even
like
if
already,
yeah, like even if you don't want to like call it what it is, the premise itself lends itself to subtext so heavily. God, there's so many good moments. There's an episode where Blanche and Rose take a dirty dancing class together.
Oh, God.
And they're dancing in the living room, and they're basically trying to like, there's like a competition between the two of them to like prove who's the better dirty dancer, but they're dancing with each other.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And then Sophia like opens the door to see them basically like dipping each other. And she's like, at least wait till we're out of the house or something. Like it's not even like, you gays. She's just like, just make out behind my back. Like I don't want to see it.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
But I feel like it's also, how we talk a lot about, like I feel like we do a lot of should have been gays. Like the Disney Channel, kind of like teen movies category of should have been gays, where we're always like, these are setting teenage girls up for failure with their expectations of what dating teenage boys is realistically going to look like, right? I feel like then there's shows like this where you're like, this is creating a generation of gays by just being like, don't you just want to live in a house with all of your like best women friends?
I mean, how often have you had that conversation?
Right. Like, isn't this the future you want, Like you were saying, Stacey, like you're 14 watching this with your grandmother, just being like, yeah, that's what I want. That looks great, Nana. I want that. That's setting up a generation of lesbians right there. Like, it's not in like a sexual way.
No.
You know? It's just a dream. It's
Although
just
low
setting up a
key,
dream.
I did think Blanche was attractive. I was crushing on things. So.
She is pretty. She's pretty hot. Not gonna lie. Watching
So,
it
yeah, there
again,
was
I'm
that.
just like looking at her face, and I'm like, "You got a good face."
Yeah.
Yeah. She kept it
That's
tight.
amazing.
The hair, like the outfits.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's hot, and she knows it.
Oh yeah, she does.
And she knows it. Well, and just so many things, especially for the time. But even now, like, there's so much ageism for women that, like, just to watch the show again is just to be like, these are like middle-aged women who are owning their sexuality, who are owning that, like, they are people outside. Like, it's like they have to throw them in a situation where, like, their husbands are dead or they're divorced, right? Like, it was not their choice to be single. So I feel like they, like, put that's why they did that way in that time. And they're like, oh, unfortunately, they have to be like this, but we're spinning it on its head, and actually, like, this life seems better than what they probably had before? Question mark.
Yeah.
That's a special point.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, huh. But I do feel like this show still, to this day, like, creates a different narrative for, like, middle-aged older women. And I love it for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, you can't, like, I feel like even today, there's not a ton of shows that fall into the same category. Like, I feel like until, like, Grace and Frankie.
Well, and Cougar
came
Town.
out.
Have you seen Cougar Town?
Oh, I haven't watched Cougar Town. But yeah, I just feel like it's funny that you didn't see, like, that many other things sort of try to follow in the footsteps, you know?
That's true.
I feel like they bottled magic and they were like, we can't do it again. But Grace and Frankie also so gay. And we still
I watched season 1. It was cute. I thought it was good.
I love Grace and Frankie also. What is it with? I'm like, also, what is it with? I'm like, I just love older women. Like, I just love watching them. I don't know what it is. I think, you know what? This is gonna get deep and whatever. But, like, I'm a little bit scared of aging. So, like, watching those shows makes me feel comforted that, like, life doesn't end.
Yeah.
And, like, you still can have, like, all these, like, fun adventures with your friends, or, like, with your ex-husband's lover, like Grace and Frankie, with the woman you sort of hated.
True,
and then you
though. A lot
don't.
of people feel that way.
So they comfort me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yes, I can look forward to being Blanche.
I love it.
It's important to have a dream, Ellie. You know, it's important
That is
to have
my
a plan for your life.
First episode of Golden Girls, she is,
oh my gosh,
53.
Wow.
Really?
53.
Wow.
I know.
She looked great.
I know, she looks so good. Yeah. Also, I'm like, I gotta prepare for, like, when you gotta do the short haircut. It's like not here yet. Like, which one am I picking?
Women don't cut their hair short like they used to, though. You know, like in their 50s. I feel like women have longer hair now.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
For sure. But like, me and my girlfriend were watching Golden Girls to prepare for this, and also just because we always do. But we were talking about it, of like, why do all older women cut their hair? And partially, I think it's just, like, was a trend. But also, the older you get, the thinner your hair gets. So it actually is better to cut it short. So at some point, we will all have to probably cut our hair short. And so we got to figure out what's the hairstyle.
I will be holding on to the last possible second.
I will also. And then also wigs.
Oh, yeah.
We've got options.
And wigs look great nowadays, too. You cannot tell. Those wigs look real.
That's why I love watching Jane Fonda, because she can rock a wig.
She can, yeah. I mean, she can rock most things, let's be honest.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Talk
like,
about another hot older woman.
She's got she's always, that's the thing.
Stacey, we're really uncovering a type here. Do you wanna dig in a little?
Jane Fonda has always been excessively hot, though. Like, I mean, that's just, if you watch younger Jane Fonda stuff, you're like, holy shit.
What was the other movie that
Barbarella.
we just watched with? No, well, yeah, I mean, no, not Barbarella. I'm talking about the other one that just came out that we watched where they like want to murder their friend.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
She looks good in that.
Moving
She looks
On.
good. She's looking
that
good.
a-
She's
a
looking good
movie?
these days.
Yeah, it's her and Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
Oh, did it just go to the theater?
I think it was just like a Netflix.
It was on. Yeah, I think it was on
Oh.
streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You should definitely check it out.
Okay.
Yes.
It will not help you get over your crush on Jane Fonda.
Oh.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Just
It will
throwing that out there.
add-
So
just
you
throwing
know.
that out
We'll
there.
just add
Yeah.
fuel. Oh, yes.
Just so you're ready. Okay, should we do some ships? Do we need to?
Yes. So I'm so sorry,
before
but I
we-
have one
before
more.
we wrap
Yes,
up?
but I have one
Okay,
more
do it.
important
Hit
thing to
us.
say.
No, please. You've been waiting so long for this, Ellie.
so
I would
sorry.
never take this away from you.
Well, because this is super important, especially because it's in the 80s. They had
Okay.
an episode about AIDS on the Golden Girls,
Mm.
which I feel like was gigantic,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so Rose, she got a blood transfusion, and they sent a letter being like, we might have like given you blood that has HIV/AIDS in the blood or something. I don't know. She gets tested, right? So she gets tested, and the whole episode is her like freaking out about it and being like, I'm a good person. Like, I'm not the kind of person who should be getting HIV/AIDS. And Blanche is like the other side of it, who basically like pushes against her, and she's like, it's not about good or bad, right? And she's like, people who like, and it's like a whole thing basically saying
Wow.
like that like AIDS doesn't have morality, right? Which is like a huge thing,
yeah.
right? Where people were like, AIDS is punishing you for your sins. And it was
I mean,
like,
especially at the time, yeah.
whenever I watch that episode, I cry. I mean, I just cry.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, these women,
I know.
like, they were doing such important work.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, obviously, like, it's like Betty White did not believe the things her character was saying, but like, she's also saying them so like they're having this argument
Yeah.
back and forth. Like, the episode is obviously telling you Rose is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like,
Oh,
mhm.
I know.
Yeah, because Blanche
Way
is
ahead
like,
of their
I
time.
actually had to get tested. And then Rose is like, well, you're a slut. So, and then she's like, what the fuck? It's so, yeah. So it's an intense episode. And they did
Blanche
a lot
would
of.
for sure try to sleep with a gay guy too. I mean, let's be real.
Yep. But they had a lot of intense episodes like that. They had the AIDS episode. They had an episode with Dorothy trying to like get diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, and doctors weren't believing her.
Really?
Women's health shit.
Oh
It's
my
so.
goodness.
Wow.
I am a, like I said,
Wow.
I love the show.
Was that
Ellie's preaching the gospel, and the gospel is Golden Girls only.
was the AIDS episode? Was that a later season? Like, or was it that early
not
on?
sure. Let me see.
Wow, I can't believe you just don't know off the top of your head, Ellie.
I know,
Like,
I
don't
know,
even
I'm
have
like
you
really
watched
shocked
the
I'm like,
show?
it's this episode.
Wow,
Okay, it is
a
late.
real fan would know.
It's season, yeah, season 5.
Season 5. Okay.
Yeah, there's
So
literally a
year
line.
what year was it when it ended? The last season.
So 1992 was the
Okay.
last season, and this was in
Wow.
1990 that this episode aired. But I feel like that's like, and she says, yeah, like there's a line from Blanche that AIDS is not a bad person's disease. It's not God punishing people for their
Wow.
sins.
Wow.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
them.
Mhm. Like, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. Sorry. But that's also, I just think it's very important when we're talking about gay issues and Golden
Yeah,
Girls.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They did the damn thing.
They did.
Like, they already did put their money where their mouth is for the gay stuff. They just didn't put any of those women together. Idiots.
So let's do it for them, Ellie. Who are we shipping if we're shipping the
Ooh.
Golden Girls? Do you want to go first, Stacey? If you had to pick like your top ship in the show, who would it be?
I'm still going with Blanche and Rose. I
Hot.
can't, I'm going with them. Sorry.
Hot.
I see it. I guess, like, why do you say Blanche and Rose versus Blanche and Dorothy? Or, like, what's the thing that connects them the most, do you think?
I love that opposites attract. Like, I don't know. I just think their personalities are so different, and I could just see them having this like special connection.
Mm.
And then
And
you
what would their ship name be?
Oh no, I'm terrible at that.
So are we all. That's okay.
Ooh.
I mean,
Oh, gosh.
ranch is right there waiting
Blanche,
for us.
So I don't know.
Ranch. I'm saying ranch.
Ranch. That's so bad.
I like ranch.
Ranch is yummy. So I guess, yeah, I'll go with ranch.
Nice.
What about you, Ellie? Who would you pick?
I feel like Blanche and Dorothy is an interesting pairing to me.
I agree.
Because I feel like they really butt heads. Like, but I feel like in like there's this episode where Dorothy becomes a regular at one of Blanche's bars, and she sings at the piano or whatever, and all these men are like all over Dorothy. And I see in my mind this episode is the moment where Blanche is like, wait, Dorothy's hot. And then she's like, I'm in love with Dorothy. They're competing. And then at the end, they end up doing a duet together. And they're like, we're actually in love. I forgot. There's another episode where they all go to couples counseling. I forgot about that. They all go to couples counseling together because they're like, you can't live together anymore.
Bitches,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, one other thing to say though about the Dorothy Blanche thing is like, I feel like anytime you have characters where it's like Blanche, she's so sexually open, she is so sex positive, and she's poking fun at Dorothy for not having luck with men, it kind of always comes across to me a little bit like, you know, like, oh, you're in second grade and you're like picking on your crush, you know, where it's like, you're like, okay, like I get it, like I'm the promiscuous one of the group, but like, oh, you like can't get a date, and you're like, just ask her out already, Blanche. Like, this is not that difficult. Like, she's right there, you live together, just walk down the hall, grab a flower on the way, and like just ask her to dinner, okay?
So I would say they're called Dorothy.
You have to do better than Dorothy.
Fine. Blanthy.
Blanthy. It is better. It's better than Dorothy,
that's
okay?
cute. I like that. That's
Blanthy.
cute.
Okay, I guess that leaves me to say Dorothy and Rose, right? Is that who's left?
Yes. Or we could throw
could see
Sophia in the
that.
mix, but I feel like we've sort of decided she's the straight mother.
Yeah, no, I think I would go Dorothy Rose if I was gonna, tap our remaining options. And I feel like I could see that working too, because I do think Dorothy is the most butch out of all of them. And I feel like Rose would need like a nice, like strong, like mask presence, I feel like she'd like that. I feel like she'd be like, you're so tall, Dorothy, hold me. Like, I think she'd
Hold
find
me
that
tight.
comforting. Plus, I feel like Rose would need somebody who could kind of pull their weight on a dairy farm. And like, that's not going to be Blanche, let's be honest.
So right.
Like, Dorothy could muck a stable, I think, is what I'm getting at.
So right.
Which I mean that not in like a sexually euphemistic way at all. I just mean like, literally, I think you could give her like a pitchfork and she could like clean out a stable. But
Yes.
I'm being very literal here. I still sound like I'm making an entendre. I'm not.
I got it. We understood it.
Okay, she's just tall and strong, and I think Rose would be into that. That's all.
What is their ship name?
Oh boy, the options go from bad to worse on this one.
Dorothy's a tough one to add to, all right?
Rose. No, that's bad. Rothy.
Rothy. It's
bad.
You just gotta use
It's
the
bad.
T.
Yeah, Rothy.
Yeah, all right. It's good enough.
That's what I'm going with. I
good
have nothing better. I have nothing better to
That's
offer
okay.
there.
Y'all are way better at that than I am. I will say.
We've done it 131 times.
And they're all pretty much this bad. So
And they're
yeah.
all horrific. And it does
Yeah.
it's what it is. It's what it is.
It is what it is.
We can all agree Golden Girls should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
All right, here we go. We're going to head into our Q and gay questions. We're going to ask you some multiple choice questions all about Golden Girls. So here we go.
Q and gay.
Question number 1. Are you an A, Dorothy, B, Blanche, C, Rose, or D, Sophia?
Who you mean like who do I relate to?
Yes. Who do you relate to?
You
the
can
most?
interpret the question however you choose,
I'm gonna say Blanche.
Nice.
There
B,
you go.
Blanche.
Chaotic bisexual of our hearts. We love it.
Yes.
Question 2. Now, what I'm gonna say?
Oh my
what's your
God,
favorite
this is gonna
Golden
be
Girls
so hard.
episode? I know. So I'm gonna give you the 4 choices that we will put on our Twitter poll, but you are welcome to vote or write in as well. So, what's your favorite Golden Girls episode out of A? Isn't It Romantic, which is with their lesbian friend Jean. B, The Case of the Libertine Belle, which I think is a murder mystery episode. C, Ladies of the Evening, which I think is where they all get mistaken for prostitutes or like pretend to be prostitutes or something. And then D, Goodbye, Mr. Gordon, which is the one where they go on the talk show accidentally as lesbians. Or a write-in episode of your choosing.
Okay, I'm going to go with A, when Jean comes, because as we were talking about it, I remember that episode. So that's the one I remember the most.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
We stan Jean the lesbian on
Yes.
Golden Girls.
Guys, every time we talk about an episode, another one pops in my mind. There's one where they go to a nudist retreat, and they all get naked together.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to go.
That is basically every gay vacation.
They accidentally go to. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we just want to go on this like retreat weekend with the girls, and they accidentally go to a nudist colony. And they're like, oh, it's a naked retreat weekend, and then they're like, fuck it, we'll take off our clothes.
That's
All
gay
right.
culture.
Question number 3: Where would you want to retire? A, Miami. B, Atlanta. C, Las Vegas. Or D, Europe.
Miami.
Nice.
That's an easy one.
Oh my God.
There's
more.
Listen, you can't break a trend, you know?
Anyone else who's listening, like, can you please support me in my Golden Girls obsession? I'm like, there's an episode where they write a song about Miami. Miami is nice, so I'll say it twice. Do you remember that one?
No.
Miami. It's a great one.
Ellie, do you need me to watch all of Golden Girls just so I can talk to you about it?
I really do.
I think you
Okay.
should.
I need help.
We
I need
should
a support
just do
group.
a podcast where I watch every episode as we go, and I've never seen them, and you're just there with all the facts and all the things. There we go.
Sounds
Listen,
great.
someday when we finish Let's Hang Out, that'll be our next thing, okay?
You seriously do have me so excited to go watch this. Like, I'm getting Kristen after this ends, and like she has no idea, but we're about to sit down and watch like
All of
5
it.
episodes of the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Good.
You will get
you
hooked
tell her
back
it's
in.
our fault.
It's
I will
all
tell
our
her
fault.
it's your fault.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4, Stacey. So sorry, but we have to ask this because of our love of Blanche. Where was your first time? A, prom night. B, your wedding night. C, under a dogwood tree. Or D, in the shower. Her stories about her first time, she has like her
With
first
a
time
man
happened
or
40
a
times.
woman?
Yeah, well, listen, you interpret the
decide.
question
You decide.
however you need to interpret the question, okay? But it's just a running gag on the show that her first time was
Let's
a million
say
different things.
shower.
All right.
There you
Nice.
go. Great.
All right. Question number 5. Would you want to live with your 3 best friends and your mom when you retire? A, yes. B, no. Or C, I already do.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yes. Amazing.
Lesbian communes taking over the world in roughly 20
how
to 30
fun
years.
would that be?
It's all happened. It's gonna happen.
Amazing.
Stacey, thank you so much for joining us and listening to my Golden Girls rantings.
Please start a podcast, please, because I feel like that's your calling.
It's like it's stuck inside. Like it just keeps coming out. Would love to chat a little bit more with you before we hop off. We talked about the Let's Go Travel show. Where can people watch the show?
On
Tello,
Films.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do
Yes.
how do people? Is there like a specific link that they should go to?
Yes. Well, if you subscribe to Tello, you'll get it free, but you can also rent or buy the episodes as well. And really, it's just if you go to tellofilms.com and type in, it'll be on the homepage, but just Let's Go Travel Show. And the season 1's out. There's 6 episodes, and season 2 is coming in the fall.
Oh, I was just gonna say we didn't get to super talk about this. Can you tell us really quickly about your book? Also, Get Off the Dating Apps.
Yes,
Journals
I
to Find
would
Your Soulmate.
love to. So basically what inspired us to write it was the traveling that we've been doing. We meet so many women who, want to know, like, how did you meet each other? We can see the love between the two of you. We want to know more. And through those conversations, they've shared that they are looking for love as well. And so that prompted us to write the journal. And in the journal, we explain the different experiences that Kristen and I had on finding each other and manifesting each other. And we're also going to be working on a breakup course that will be like a 30-day email course that we'll be sending videos and messages on how to heal from heartache. That way you can be ready to call in that love when you're ready to find your soulmate. So
amazing. Where can people find the book as well?
We have a link that I could send you. And yeah, we don't have it out right now, so if you can just wait on that. But once I get the link, I can send it to you and let you know when it'll be available.
Awesome. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna take us too long, but could you tell us a little bit about how you and Kristen met?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to. We had a mutual friend introduce us, and at the time I had just got out of a breakup and I was just trying to lay low and not date anybody. So we were actually friends for a couple months before, and we would just go see each other like in group settings, and we got to know each other that way. I mean, later we did admit that we had some like low key flirting going on with each other, but yeah, we were friends first, and then we decided that there was a chemistry there that we wanted to explore, and we went on that first date. And as it goes, you know how that goes with lesbians, it's like she kissed me and I was like, I'm done. I'm so in love with this woman.
And then you just went home, started packing.
6 months, six months later, I'm engaged, and we're doing a travel show. We're writing a book together.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Quite gay of you.
It's just been amazing.
Man.
It's been a dream come true, honestly. I'm just so blessed and thankful to have her in my life.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love that so much for both of you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Where can people find you if they want to follow you on all the social medias?
They can go to Les Go Travel Show, and it's Les_Go_Travel_show. They can find me there. And we're on TikTok as well, and Facebook, and also at Tello, on Tello's account. They can find us there. We're all of our stuff's on there, and we would love the support.
Amazing. So yeah, make sure you all check it out. And yes, thank you so much for spending time with us, Stacey.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun talking about the Golden Girls. I can't wait to go watch all the seasons.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from you and building community, so we want to shout out some of our favorite things each episode. And I'd like to shout out a few comments from our Instagram. So on our Mal Glowenke episode, Rebecca commented, "No way, this is awesome. We agree. We love Mal." And Emery Krog also said, "Great episode. Thanks." Really, really good energy for that Mal episode. We really had a great time. We also had a quote on our Instagram saying, "DCOM original movies set up men for failure and lesbians for success, and Big Gay Energy said it was our best quote yet." And you know what? We agree. We'd also like to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette, thank you so much. We cannot continue to make the podcast without you.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
We also have videos going up on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch those.
Let's Hang Out is an independently produced show hosted by us with audio production by me. Our production assistant is Kristen Murison, and various other shenanigans by Lee Holmes Foster.
If you want to help support the podcast, there are so many ways to do that. The first one is leave us a rating and a review wherever you listen to podcasts. It helps new people find the show.
If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that at bit.ly/lespatreon. It is the best way to support the show and help us continue to make it, to pay Kristen, to pay for all of the other expenses that we have with our podcast. You also get bonus episodes. You get Patreon-only Discord chat, and it is a blast. So join at bit.ly/lespatreon.
If you want to buy some Les Hangout merch, we are migrating all of our merch to our own website. You can find it at bit.ly/lesmerch. We are adding new designs and new products that we have not had access to previously. So If you want to go and check out what we have already, we do have new things like hats and beanies and fanny packs and things like that. We have iced coffee cups, like little tumbler things. But you can also make sure that you hit us up, send us an email, send us a DM. If there are things where you're like, I always wish I could have had this design on this thing that you didn't have before, let us know, because we're definitely open to ideas and looking to build out that store. But if you want to find them, you can find them either at our website or, like I said, at bit.ly/lesmerch.
And remember, we have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings. You can find everywhere at $dollarbeanprod.
You can also check out our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can listen to all the episodes of our first show, The Flame, on any podcasting app.
And you can listen to the entire first run of Journey to the Heart, also anywhere you listen to podcasts.
If you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/$dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSHFoster.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.